Hi everyone. If you're chasing or waiting for someone who come to you and change your life, then this video is for you. We live in a world where we are constantly told that we need something or someone to be happy, but it is not true. Today we will talk about on this topic. My name is Muniba Mazari and I am motivational speaker. If you find this video fruitful, then you can appreciate me by like and subscribe and start a new journey with me. Let's start the topic. Life has a way of making us believe that we are not enough on our own. From the moment we are born, we are taught that we need someone to love us, to support us, to make us feel important. We grow up thinking that our happiness depends on others. If we are loved, we feel valuable. If we are appreciated, we feel worthy. If someone believes in us, we feel capable. But what happens when those people leave? What happens when the appreciation stops? What happens when the people we relied on disappear? This is where most of us struggle. We attach our emotions, our dreams, and even our self-worth to people around us. If someone loves us, we feel complete. If someone criticizes us, we feel broken. If someone walks away, we feel empty. But let me ask you something. Why do we give so much power to others over our own lives? Why do we believe that we need someone else to make us feel whole? Think about it. Have you ever waited for a message from someone just to feel good about your day? Have you ever doubted yourself just because someone didn't believe in you? Have you ever felt worthless because someone rejected you? If your answer is yes, then you are not alone. We all have been there. We all have felt that pain. But here's the truth. The problem was never in those people leaving. The problem was in us believing that we needed them to feel complete. Imagine a child learning to walk. At first, they hold on to someone's hand, feeling safe, feeling supported. But one day, they let go. They stumble, they fall, but they rise again. Slowly, they realize that they don't need a hand to walk anymore. And once they take that first independent step, there is no turning back. They run, they explore, they live. This is exactly how life works. We may need guidance at times, we may need support, but in the end, we must learn to stand on our own. The biggest illusion we live with is that we are incomplete without someone else. Society tells us that we need love to be happy. It tells us that we need approval to be successful. It tells us that we need people to feel important. But have you ever met someone who has everything? Love, support, admiration, but still feels empty inside? And have you ever met someone who has nothing, yet walks with confidence, with peace, with purpose? That is the difference between dependence and self-sufficiency. People will come and go. Their opinions will change. Their support may not always be there. And if your happiness depends on them, you will always feel uncertain, always feel like something is missing. But the day you realize that your happiness is not in someone else's hands, that is the day you take control of your life. Think about the strongest people in history, the leaders, the change makers, the fighters. Do you think they were never abandoned? Do you think they never faced rejection? They did, but they didn't stop. They didn't wait for someone to believe in them before they believed in themselves. They didn't wait for support to take action. They knew that their strength, their power, their worth, it all came from within. And that is exactly what you need to understand today. You don't need someone to tell you that you are worthy. You don't need someone to complete you. You don't need someone to make you feel important. Because you, just as you are already enough. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you free yourself from the illusion of dependence. We live in a world where we are constantly told that we need something or someone to be happy. We are made to believe that success comes when others support us, that love comes when someone chooses us, and that happiness comes when we are surrounded by people. But what if I tell you that none of this is true? What if I tell you that the most powerful person in the world is the one who is not afraid to stand alone? Think about this. How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something just because no one was there to support you? How many dreams have you left behind because people told you they were impossible? How many times have you felt stuck because you were waiting for someone else to push you forward? We don't realize it, but most of the time, we are standing in our own way. We believe we need permission to succeed. We wait for approval to feel worthy. We depend on encouragement to take the first step. But what if the person you are waiting for is actually you? Every person who has ever achieved something great started with nothing but belief in themselves. They didn't wait for the world to agree with them. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They didn't wait for someone to hold their hand and walk with them. They just started. They fell, they failed, but they kept going. And that's the difference between people who succeed and people who don't. The ones who succeed understand that their power does not come from others. It comes from within. We often think that having support makes us strong, but real strength is tested when there is no one to hold us. When you can stand tall even when the world turns its back on you, that is true strength. When you can pick yourself up after falling, that is true courage. And when you can look in the mirror and say, I am enough, without needing anyone else to say it first, that is true freedom. Have you ever seen a tree standing alone in the middle of an open field? It faces storms, strong winds, and heavy rain, yet it stands tall. It does not lean on another tree for support. It does not ask for shelter. It grows its roots deep into the ground, finding its own strength, its own stability. That is exactly how we must be. The problem is that we have been taught to fear independence. We have been told that doing things alone is scary. But the truth is, the moment you realize you can depend on yourself, life becomes easier. You stop expecting people to solve your problems. You stop blaming others for your failures. You stop waiting for someone to make things better. Because you understand that you have the power to change your own life. There is nothing more powerful than a person who is self-sufficient. A person who knows that whether people support them or not, they will move forward. A person who understands that happiness does not come from someone else's presence, but from their own peace. A person who wakes up every morning, not waiting for someone to tell them they are worthy, but knowing it for themselves. So stop looking for strength in others. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you can do it. Stop believing that your success depends on someone else's support. Everything you need is already within you. The only thing left is for you to realize it. There are moments in life when we look at others and admire their strength. We see someone facing challenges with confidence and we wonder, how do they do it? We see people who radiate happiness, who believe in themselves, who chase their dreams fearlessly, and we think, I wish I had that kind of courage. But what if I told you that everything you admire in others already exists within you? What if I told you that you don't need to look outside for strength, confidence, or happiness, because it is already inside you, waiting to be discovered? The biggest mistake we make is believing that some people are just born strong while others are not. We think that successful people have something special that we don't. But the truth is, no one is born confident. No one is born fearless. No one is born knowing all the answers. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is this. Successful people choose to believe in themselves, even when no one else does. They don't wait for someone to tell them they are capable. They don't wait for permission to chase their dreams. They decide that they are enough, and they act on it. Think about a time when you were afraid to do something. Maybe speaking in front of a crowd, starting a new job, or making an important decision. In that moment, your mind told you that you were not ready. It told you that you might fail, that others might judge you. But if you think back, you will realize something. The fear was not real. The only thing holding you back was your own doubt. And the moment you decided to ignore that doubt and take action anyway, you proved to yourself that you were stronger than you thought. We are so quick to see strength in others, but so slow to recognize it in ourselves. We tell ourselves, I can't do this. I'm not brave enough. I'm not smart enough. But what if you changed the way you spoke to yourself? What if instead of saying, I can't, you started saying, I will find a way? What if instead of waiting for confidence, you simply decided to trust yourself? Look around you. Every strong person you see was once uncertain. Every confident speaker once felt nervous. Every successful person once doubted themselves, but they kept going, and that's what made the difference. The only thing separating you from them is the belief that you are capable. And the good news? You can choose to believe in yourself at any moment. You don't need someone to tell you that you are strong. You don't need someone to remind you of your worth. The courage you admire in others, it is already within you. The confidence you think you lack, it is there, waiting for you to claim it. The happiness you are searching for, it begins the moment you stop looking for it outside and start creating it inside. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I wish I were stronger," remind yourself that you already are. The next time you feel afraid, remind yourself that fear is just an illusion. And the next time you look at someone and think, "I wish I could be like them," remember this: you already are. You just need to believe it. There is one fear that stops most people from moving forward: the fear of being alone. We are afraid of walking a path where no one stands beside us. We fear making decisions without someone's approval. We hesitate to take risks because we think, "What if I fail and there is no one to pick me up?" This fear is real, but it is also the reason so many people never reach their true potential. From a young age, we are taught that we need people around us to feel secure. We grow up believing that happiness comes from being surrounded by friends, family, and loved ones. But what happens when those people are not there? What happens when you have to stand alone? Does life stop? Do your dreams become impossible? No, in fact, this is the moment when you truly find out who you are. Think about it. Every strong person you admire has faced moments of loneliness. Every successful person has had times when no one believed in them. They stood alone, they faced rejection, they felt fear, but they kept going. Why? Because they understood something important. Being alone is not the same as being weak. In fact, learning to stand alone is what makes you powerful. There will be times in life when people will leave, friends will walk away, support will disappear. The people you thought would always be there might not be, and in those moments, you have two choices. You can either break down and believe that you are not enough, or you can stand up and prove to yourself that you are. Some of the biggest breakthroughs in life come when you're forced to stand on your own. You learn things about yourself that you never knew before. You realize that you are capable of handling difficulties. You find out that your strength does not come from others. It comes from within you. Think of a baby bird in a nest. For weeks, the mother feeds it, protects it, keeps it warm, but then one day, the mother pushes the bird out of the nest. The bird is alone, falling fast, and in that moment, it has a choice: either spread its wings or crash to the ground. And what happens? The bird discovers that it can fly. It never knew it had wings. It never knew it could soar until it was forced to. That is exactly how life works. When you stop fearing loneliness, you start finding freedom. You stop looking for validation. You stop waiting for permission. You stop depending on others for happiness. You become your own source of strength, your own best friend, your own biggest supporter. And that is when real confidence begins. Have you ever seen people who seem unshaken by life's challenges? They walk into a room alone, yet they look fearless. They chase their dreams even when no one believes in them. They stand tall even after facing rejection. Do you know why? Because they have trained themselves to stand alone. They don't need people to hold them up because they have built a foundation so strong within themselves that nothing can shake them. And you can do the same. The next time you feel alone, don't see it as a weakness. See it as an opportunity, a chance to grow, to prove to yourself that you don't need anyone else to define your worth. A chance to spread your wings and fly. Because the truth is, the moment you stop fearing loneliness is the moment you become truly unstoppable. One of the biggest reasons people struggle in life is because they are waiting for approval. They want someone to tell them they're good enough, smart enough, or talented enough. They want someone to say, "Yes, you can do this." And if no one does, they start doubting themselves, they stop believing in their own abilities, they give up before even trying. But here's the truth. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need anyone's validation to believe in yourself. Think about how much time we waste worrying about what people think. We dress a certain way, not because we like it, but because we want to impress others. We hold back from sharing our ideas because we're afraid of being judged. We stay in situations that make us unhappy just because we don't want to disappoint someone. And in doing all of this, we lose ourselves. We forget who we really are. We stop living for ourselves and start living for the approval of others. But here's something important to remember. People's opinions change all the time. The same people who praise you today might criticize you tomorrow. The same people who support you today might walk away when things get difficult. If your happiness depends on their approval, then your happiness will always be uncertain. One day you will feel on top of the world, and the next day you will feel like you are nothing. Is that how you want to live? Always waiting for someone else to tell you that you are enough? Look at the people who have achieved great things in life. Do you think they waited for permission? Do you think they stopped every time someone doubted them? No. They kept moving forward even when no one believed in them. They didn't let rejection define their worth. They didn't let criticism break their spirit. They understood something that most people don't. The only validation that matters is the one you give yourself. You see, when you stop seeking approval, you start gaining confidence. When you stop waiting for permission, you start taking action. And when you stop needing validation, you start realizing that you are always enough. Have you ever seen a river flowing? It does not stop to ask the rocks for permission to pass. It does not wait for the trees to approve its direction. It just keeps moving forward, cutting through obstacles, shaping its own path, and in the end, it reaches its destination. That is how life should be. You must keep moving, keep growing, keep pushing forward, no matter who believes in you and who doesn't. Some people will doubt you. Some will criticize you. Some will try to hold you back. And that's okay, because their opinions do not define you. Your dreams are yours, and only you have the power to make them come true. The moment you stop waiting for others to believe in you and start believing in yourself, everything changes. You stop hesitating. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop being afraid of failure, because now you are not doing things to prove yourself to others. You are doing them because you know you are capable. So stop looking for validation. Stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for the world to believe in you. Instead, believe in yourself so strongly that no doubt, no rejection, no criticism can shake you. Because once you do that, you will finally be free. We spend so much of our lives searching for something: happiness, success, love, peace. We look for it in people, in achievements, in material things. We believe that once we find the right person, the right job, the right moment, we will finally feel complete. But no matter how much we achieve, no matter how many people love us, there is always this feeling that something is missing. And that's because we were looking in the wrong places. The truth is, you were never incomplete. You were never missing anything. The strength you were searching for, it was always inside you. The love you were waiting for, it was always within you. The happiness you were chasing, it was always yours to create. But you were too busy looking outside to see what was already inside. Think about this. Have you ever achieved something big only to feel empty afterward? Have you ever been surrounded by people, yet still felt lonely? Have you ever received love from others but struggled to love yourself? That's because external things cannot fill an internal void. No amount of success, no relationship, no validation will ever be enough if you don't already feel complete within yourself. We are taught that we need something or someone to make us whole, that without success, we are failures, that without love, we are unworthy, that without approval, we don't matter. But who made these rules? Who decided that your worth depends on anything outside of you? The only person who can define your value is you. The only person who can complete you is you. The moment you realize this, you become unstoppable. Think of a candle. When you light it, it doesn't ask for permission to shine. It doesn't wait for someone to tell it that it is bright enough. It just glows. And the best part, it can light up other candles without losing its own flame. That is how you should live. Stop waiting for the world to tell you that you are enough. Stop waiting for something outside of you to make you feel whole. Just like the candle, you already have the light within you. All you have to do is recognize it. Some people spend their entire lives searching for something that was never missing. They keep chasing things, thinking that the next achievement, the next relationship, the next big moment will finally make them happy. But happiness does not come from the outside, it comes from within. Peace does not come from having everything go perfectly. It comes from knowing that you are already complete, no matter what happens. So stop searching, stop waiting. Stop thinking that you need something else to be happy. The love you are looking for, give it to yourself. The validation you are seeking, find it within. The happiness you want, create it. Because the truth is, you were never broken. You were never lacking. You were always whole, always enough, exactly as you are. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you will find the peace you have been looking for all along.